Yeah,
We all bring
we
something
all
to
bring
the
something
table.
different.
We
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
stress equally. Hey everybody, welcome to Out of the Box. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got, of course, myself, Elvira. We have Chloe and Johnny. And today we're going to be talking about, as you can already tell by the background, the Doll Awards, which are very, very soon approaching. I can't believe we're already at the end, or gosh, what, beginning of September? So like 2-3 months. So how's everybody doing today? Is everyone
I am doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank God I'm doing good.
You're like,
No,
after all the tea I've heard from everyone else,
no,
I'm doing fabulous.
after life, after you get hit with that train of life, yeah. No, I've been good. I've been celebrating my birthday month, my birthday month, and I've been doing good. Opening dolls, playing with my dolls, reorganizing my doll room, the whole shebang.
Being a doll. Yeah.
Being a doll.
Have you been opening up any new dolls or anything, Johnny, at all?
No, I haven't. Well, I have a couple that I haven't posted yet, so can't say that yet. But I'm also doing good. Been busy with the Doll Award stuff. We'll talk about that on the episode. I don't want to jump the gun yet, but yeah, I've been busy with the Doll Award stuff. But overall, it's been good. It's been good.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and so far, again, I can't believe we're already approaching and moving so quickly. I mean, fall is here. I feel like it's just like out of nowhere. It was just like it's fall. And you know what that means? December, which is Doll Awards again,
Yeah.
which is obviously the theme that we're going with, which is I love it. I have to give definitely props to Chloe and Johnny for doing so much and picking the theme this year for the winter I love it. I think it just went really, really perfect, especially since we tend to do the Doll Awards in December. So I love that. So, like, to kick it off and to talk a little bit about the Doll Awards. First off, I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you're following the Doll Awards on Instagram, and we've already posted all of the new presenters for this year.
Ooh, how
A
fun.
new array of presenters, and of course, we have the core three. We're here still. We're still presenting and hosting.
We're here. We're trucking along.
We're still here. You guys know that already, But let's talk a little bit about the process of presenters, and because I know that's a question that we have received in the past before, and I guess I'm more than happy to start it off a little bit. And one thing that we always like to look for is I don't want anyone to ever feel excluded, regardless of what kind of doll that they're into, regardless of the size of their platform. I really think having a diverse group really has a good representation of the doll community. So when we do, obviously, we have us three as three of the presenters. And then when we look for new presenters, a lot of it comes from just trying to pick different people from different groups within the doll community.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you basically summed it up the short, the easy and short way, but that's how we basically
We've been
what Chloe's trying to say. What Chloe's
we've been
trying
on
to
a
say,
call
but
for like 3 hours now. So to everyone else, they're turning this on. We've been talking on Zoom for 3 hours. So
what Chloe's trying to say is that we just, for something that I know we all have, I guess, different ways of like looking for people, but for me, I just go to my explore page and look at the pictures, and sometimes I see something that catches my eye. I'm like, oh, this person is posting, just it does. Not even someone I know. It's just someone posting content, so I'll follow them. I'll see what they're posting, and then we're like, oh, this could be a potential person for the Doll Awards. And that's for me, that's kind of like with a process that I don't really look for. I don't like look for anything in particular, really. Just do I enjoy their content? And it doesn't matter. Like we have people that are like with smaller creators, we have content creators with more followers. Like we don't exclude anyone.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we always try to do every year is to explore outside of, because obviously like I like looking at certain styles of like doll photography, certain styles of, right now I'm really into Rainbow High, but I don't want to pick just presenters that only do Rainbow High, because when we talk about the doll community within our categories, it's everything. So that's a really good point. I'm the same way. I think when we, see people on our For You page or whatever you want to call it, like our explore page, it is just trying to find somebody who has maybe some content that's eye-catching or something that's a little bit different. But yeah, regardless of size or what dolls they're into, it's always nice to have some different points of views within our award show. So that's kind of basically what we do. I mean, it's nothing really complicated. It's not, yeah, I know
No,
people are
yeah.
like, oh, is there like an application? You know, because they have received DMs of people like, how do
Right.
you know? It's literally just we try to have something a little bit different and new every year to try to cover our large platform. Because I mean, the doll community has grown substantially,
A
not
lot.
the past 3 years, but
lot.
even since I started YouTube. I mean, it's just constantly new content creators. So we're just trying to make sure to have everybody feel as included as possible. But
Yeah.
other things to talk about with the awards, besides just presenters, we also have our categories coming up this month. That's also
That
very
is a
That's
lot of
really
fun.
exciting.
Mhm.
I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for all the categories. And I think that's the most like fun part about the Doll Awards is seeing everybody commenting who they're nominating. And then after that, obviously voting. But the nominations are always so much fun because you get to see what people like, what
Yeah.
they're into. You get to see, you know, what's happening, you know, and I get really happy with that because you see some of your favorites and then you see some of the stuff that you probably don't collect but others do, and that kind of intrigues me sometimes to go and check other brands out and other dolls and things like that. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm always interested to see what is something that I am not familiar with at all. Like, and or sometimes there will be like certain dolls where I'm like, oh, is that really that popular? And then I'll see so many people commenting that, and I'm like, wow, I'm living in the dark over here. Like, I'm like, how did I miss out on this great either doll or doll line, depending on the category? So yeah, that's what I'm always looking forward to every year with the categories. We are changing it up a little bit because that is one thing that we have always every year. We're trying to progress the show, of course, and you know, trying to keep the categories, some of the core ones, of course, the same, like doll of the year, of course. We're always gonna have that every year, but changing it up a little bit when it comes to some of the categories that'll make sense for each current year as well. Do you want to touch on that at all, Johnny? Like when it comes to trying to keep the categories interesting, fun, and to fit the programming, I guess.
Yeah, usually when we're looking at the categories, we'll like look at them and we'll see like what that year brought us. So this year we had the Barbie movie, so we wanted to include something to include those dolls. And we had like a lot of other like Rainbow High was like really popular those other times. So we wanted to include like just it changes based on what's I guess going on in that year. And
Yeah.
just before I like we even deep dive, I want to give a shout out to Matt at the Doll Aisle for making the logo. I want to make sure that
Oh yeah, we did.
we
I
will
think
give
we
him
mentioned that
props
once
for the
before, but
logo
mention that
because
again. Yeah.
that's also very important and integral part of the Doll Awards. It's the beautiful logo that is styled by a naturalista. So I want to give him a little shout out here at the Doll Aisle on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yeah, and that's one thing with like, I mean, again, trying to keep everything fresh and unique, but also keeping like the core categories the same. I mean, like obviously every year we do update the logo to match the award that we're using for that particular year for the presentation. But to touch back on the categories though, we do have to reflect on sometimes like when we have like last year, for example, doll with the best, you know, that we'd like to see have a comeback. Obviously we can't really do it again this year because a lot of the same nominee, it would be the same dollar again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
really nothing different. So when it comes to picking categories that will make sense for the year, that's what we kind of have to do is observe the dolls that have come out. Has there been like a resurgence? Let's say if there's been 30 new play sets, then we should have a play set category, right? So trying to find categories that make sense within the year is how we kind of do it. You know what I mean? Like that's what we try, and trying to make sure that there would be enough people to even like, we don't want to pick a category that's so obscure that there'll be one nomination. Like
yeah.
so trying to keep it fresh. But to go into I'm glad you brought that up though, but to go into the actual design of the logo this year, as you can tell, it is a naturalista doll. And I'm so happy that Chloe is one of our amazing, because again, I cannot emphasize enough the hard work that you put into the physical awards themselves. I can't wait for everybody to see them this year, but the award will look like the logo above us. Do you want to go a little bit of maybe about your process for kind of like why did you choose the particular style that you did for the gown?
Yeah, of course. Okay, to start it off is disclaimer, I'm not a doll customizer by any means or anything like that, but one of my favorite things to do is dress up my dolls and create outfits for my dolls and things like that. So when I knew we were doing this project, I knew I wanted to make the trophy, like a physical trophy, and I knew I wanted it to be a doll. So of course I was like, I need to make the dress, and I learned how to make the trophy. And it, like you said, it's all a learning process. So every year I'm learning and I'm trying to reinvent it and make it easier. And so this year I really wanted to do naturalistas because last year I presented the best doll under, I think it was
Best
under
budget doll under
20.
$20. I think
Yeah,
$20, yeah.
yeah, I presented that, and naturalistas won, and I was really excited because I feel like with naturalistas they are very, I like the messaging behind them, right? And now we have Latinistas, so I'm even more excited because Latina. But I decided to pick her, and it was between her and another character. This is the Dana character. But I decided to pick her because I really, really enjoy her. I love her so, so, so much. And I wanted to do something different. Like, we try to keep it fresh every single year. And we said that we wanted to step away from kind of like the metal colors. We've done it for 2 years. So this year, Winter Wonderland, I was like, what better than a blue dress? Something that screams winter, something so literal. And I knew I didn't want to do a gown, which is funny because you would think you would want a gown for winter, but
Still, to me, this is like her cocktail dress. You know what I mean?
yes,
To me, I still
yes,
call it a gown. It's just like a shorter.
yeah. This is her dress that she wears inside a building because she can't be out in the cold like that. But yeah, I wanted to change everything. So we changed the colors. I wanted to change the length of the outfit. So I wanted to do something short this year. And then another thing that we're doing is we are not painting the dolls. We're not covering the skin color or the plastic color, but we're not painting over them this year. Just because I think it'll be more, it's cuter. I don't know. I like it better that way, anyways. And I don't know where it comes from. The inspiration just happens. Like I'll start sketching. I even showed Johnny a couple sketches of ideas of the dress, and then I just pick my favorite. And even after picking my favorite, I make adjustments to it because it doesn't always come out how I want to because it's such a small scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the process is there, and then obviously I have to make a mock-up. I have to see it. I have to physically see it to see if I like it. And I made my little sample dress, sample doll, if you will. And I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I have the fabrics, the colors, everything looks perfect. And I can't wait to start making all of the trophies.
I know. It's like, again, we're already in September, so get on it.
Round of applause for Chloe.
If no one hears from Chloe for 2 weeks, it's because she's working really hard on
working
a whole month. A whole month. If nobody hears from me all September, you know why.
I'm excited to see them all, like honestly. And I just love how excited people get when they physically first receive them and start sharing the images and everything. It's just, I don't know. I love the fact that it gives people almost a sense of like, oh, because it is an exclusive doll. It is. I mean, these are very limited number.
It's a custom. It's a custom.
And they're customs. Yeah. So it's like, I love that. I love having something so special and unique. And I just feel so honored to have all three.
That's what I love about creating them. That's really what I love about creating them is the fact that I'm able to send them to so many different people and they own a little piece of art from me.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't fully know me, because a lot of these presenters that we get, we don't know all of them very deeply. Despite what people may believe, they're not all our friends from the very beginning. Sometimes this is how they become our friends through the Doll Awards. And the fact that I get to send them a little piece of art, a little piece of Chloe, a little Sky Designs moment, it brings a lot of joy to me because I'm like, well, the first cast got their trophies, the second cast got their, and it's all different. So it keeps that kind of bond per year with those certain people. So that's my favorite part about making the trophies. When I get to send them, when I get people's reactions, when they're holding them in the video, that's so much fun to see because it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
You're like, good, I'm done until next year. No,
and then the satisfaction when she sends them into the post office.
I know.
Yes.
No, I know, but it also is like, it is, yeah, they're so great to see. And like, again, you are very much, I mean, I consider you a doll customizer. I mean, even though you may not be repainting every eyelash on the eye. You know, you're still bringing a new and different light to an already existing doll. Like for the first year we had Barbie, and we gave Barbie a whole different gold look, and then last year we had an OMG doll. So every year, that is another thing that we look into, is, you know, seeing what new dolls are out, or seeing what iconic dolls we've already had, and then giving them life within the award itself.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what the future holds. Because, like, if you asked me last year, at the time, naturalists were so new, we were like, yeah, I wouldn't have really thought, like, oh wow. But as soon as you showed me your concept, I was like, it has to be Dana.
Yes,
Like, this is
please.
just so beautiful. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens next year. And I would love to see, again, follow us at the Doll Awards. Any ideas, or, you know, we always are open to ideas. We're always open to recommendations and things like that. So I'm always interested to see what people have to say. If they're like, oh, I really want this doll as a trophy to see it, I think that'd be really cool. But going into other things, though, we have covered, of course, you know, presenters and how, like, the actual award is being made. And then to go into the socials, we of course have the Instagram page, but I have to really give it to Johnny as being so creative, especially this year. Like, you stepped it up. Like, I know obviously when we showcase the presenters, it's like we always look really cute in our little squares. But I'm always like, but I was so like proud of you for this year for really stepping up and creating reels with everybody's you know, with their obviously their chosen image and their wording. And so I thought it was so great. It looks so good. I'm so excited to see
Thank you.
what else you have ready for Instagram this year. But you've been doing so great. So what's your process when it comes to being, because that's obviously, this is a different art form, for being creative within the socials? Explain that process to us.
Sometimes I surprise myself with the things that I come up with, because I'm like, should I have been a marketing major? Because this is kind of like a skill that a lot of people are looking for. So I'm like, okay, this is a portfolio. But yeah, so my process is we get the theme, and in my head my head immediately starts going to work, and it like thinks of something, and I try to make it as best as I can, and I get some feedback. And we are our like worst critics. So like I asked Chloe, like, is this okay? And like I'll make some adjustments, and like, this is perfect. So and when it came to the reels, I had that idea because I went on my explore page and I saw a similar kind of looking reel from a different from a reality like TV series. So I'm like, that looks really good. And it was kind of the same how I did it. It was like there was a moving background, there was like two little things on the side moving as well. And I'm like, let me see if I could recreate that. I didn't think I was able to, and then I did it and I was like, wow. So
yeah,
that's how that came to be.
I was like, wow, because you're so good at editing. Because even with like, oh, and side note, everyone, if you love the thumbnails, which I love every single thumbnail for Out of the Box, Johnny does create all those as well. No, I really, honestly, when I first, even during the first year of the Doll Awards, I literally thought you were or did something in like graphic design.
Yeah, the first year was so a bit basic.
I was like, oh, that has to be what he's doing, right? Like.
Yeah, no, I've usually always been really creative with like edits and stuff and making things digitally. Like I used to have this Instagram page for like for Drag Race, and I would do like Drag Race edits, and it was even featured on one of the seasons of Drag Race. It was like on All Stars 3. So I was like, okay, my stuff is getting featured. My stuff is getting featured on actual TV. Like, well, they didn't tell me they were going to use it, but I mean, it's their stuff. So there's not really much that could come from there. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing is good. What I'm doing is good. So
you did that.
Thank you. I post basically everything that's on the Instagram page. So the stories, I do the post, the categories that is going to go up as well. So everything that's creatively done, that's mostly by me. I created the logo. If you guys have noticed, I created the logo for Out of the Box. So I created that, and like Lara said, I do the thumbnails as well, and it's a lot of fun. It's really something I do when I have like free time. Like, oh, let me make an edit. Let me just make an edit. It's very, you know, when you do something that when you're stressed, just do something to relax. I'll do that. I'll put some of my favorite music and I'll start editing. There it goes.
No, I should start sending you all of my thumbnails that I need for my channel. Be like, oh, are you bored? Are you bored?
My email will be down below. Inquiries, please.
But honestly, no, to be in all reality, like, I literally am so blown away because it looks so good. And you're also on it, which I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, how are you not doing this professionally, or at least for, you know, like a part-time job? Because I feel like there is a demand for, especially now with so many people creating podcasts, you know, online shows, YouTube. I mean, it just, I think there is definitely a market for it, and you do it so quickly, and it looks so good. And I hope you're like
Thank
trying to
you.
cut something
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
usually
No.
whenever I already have the template, it's like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm like, not that it's it becomes easier once the first one. I think what takes the most time is that first one, trying to
Okay.
position everything into the right place, the text, everything. What is it gonna look like in the end? And
Yeah.
that first one, it took like for the reel for this year's Doll Wars, it took me like 10, 12 tries just so I could be satisfied with how it's gonna look. And then after that, it's really easy. You just have to put in every single presenter, and then it's just like smooth sailing from there. But it's a lot of fun for me. It's a really fun process.
Oh, I love that.
Amazing.
I
Like,
know the two of
honestly,
you are just
amazing.
so creative, and I'm so glad. I'm beyond glad to have both of you, working on this and creating this and being able to have the outcome that we do have with how great the award show has been looking the past 2 years. So I'm really looking forward this year to see, as everything comes together. Seems like everything's going by really smoothly. I'm excited to see, obviously once the categories are fully up and get all these nominations, and I'm really excited to see, like, all right, we have to do our predictions episode. I would love to do that and see kind of like, all right, like, who do we think is going to win like Doll of the Year? And we can do our own little mini pre-vote or something. Because I'm always, like I said, that's one of my favorite parts, is like the anticipation of the win, and
Yeah.
so that's always a lot of fun. And for me, I'm just so glad that everybody's willing to work for dolls. It's like,
Honestly.
I'm so glad that you guys are doing such great work. Would you like to be paid in dolls? Because that's
my favorite payment, but dolls cannot pay rent or food.
It's like everyone's.
I don't need to eat.
You're like, how did the Doll Wars come to be? Well, I pay everyone who works on it in dolls.
In dolls.
Basically.
We're starving, but we have dolls.
You
No,
but that little doll foot,
No, but honestly, Elvira, without you, we wouldn't have the numbers that we do. We wouldn't have the exposure for the Doll Awards. Because yes, me and Johnny
lucky enough, I feel like, to have a platform to present that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you also have been in this business longer than me and Johnny when it comes to like social media and marketing and talking with brands, because thanks to you, we were able to talk with brands and have sponsors and all of that. So without you, we wouldn't have as big of an audience as we do because of your numbers and everything. So I mean, you do bring a lot to the table as well. I think we balance off each other off really, really well.
Yeah,
we all bring something to the table.
Different.
We all stress equally. We're all equally stressed out by the time.
Yes.
The day,
especially towards the end. Towards the end, we're extremely stressed out. This is not easy, guys. It is not easy to put on this show. It might seem like, oh, easy, like, oh my god, how fun, the awards are coming, but it is a lot of work. And sometimes that work starts, like, we started posting, well, when we started posting, but we start talking about it. We start talking about the next awards right when that one ends, because we're crazy like that.
Yeah. No, literally, it's because you have to plan ahead. If we stay stuck like with just this year, and then we wait until July, because this starts from July. Talking about the Doll Award starts in July. We start talking about it, and then we fully start going crazy in July, because by August we have to reveal all the presenters. We have to have the percent. It's a whole process. Mm-hmm. It's months worth of things, and I feel like Johnny said, this is hard. This is not for anyone. Like, you have to have like a good team and be able to communicate very well with each other, and I think we do that very well. We know how to communicate with each other. We know how to bounce off each other when it comes to like ideas and all of that for the Doll Awards. And I really, really am glad that I have you guys, because I know for a fact if I did this by myself, it would no.
It would not be happening if it was just me. I'm not as creative, and then also if I was to hire anybody else, they would be charging me hundreds of dollars an hour. So it would not be getting done.
Yes, and also by saying team, it's literally us three. There's no it's a team, because when we say team, people might think there's tons of people like behind us, behind the scenes. It's literally just us. I do shout out, of course, to Matt. Matt's part of the team.
And then obviously people who help us edit the video too, because I mean they do such hard work as well. We have Claudina.
Yeah, Claudine, the past 2 years. This year we are having a different editor, which I don't know if I want to reveal yet. I guess we might leave that as a surprise. We might, I think on our next Doll Awards episode for the podcast,
Yes.
we'll go a little bit deeper. More things obviously will be out. Categories will be fully up, and then at that point we can divulge more information about the Doll Awards. But I think this gives, hopefully this answers a lot of questions for that a lot of you have had about like the process, how things are going, how things have been going, how things are going to be going. And like I said, this is always a changing show, but now that we have kind of like the base for it, it's become easier. But we're always looking at improving and trying to spice it up a little bit. And like I said, I have to say, both of you, thank you so much for being a part of this. I know people probably get tired of me every year saying like, Johnny and Chloe, thank you so much. But I mean, you guys really do so much from the creative aspect that really does, it really does show. And I hope people can really see that and appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, we're all trying to do a little skit this year, so hopefully
I know, and I have to work
that
on
goes well this
year
too.
We have a lot
at the Doll Awards, of course, on Instagram, and make sure to follow here, the Doll Circle on YouTube, just so you can watch the award show. Obviously, as we get closer, we will have official dates listed for when the show is actually going live. To be very transparent, until we start getting clips and all the editing and everything going, is kind of when we get the idea of the official date. So that's why when we say stressful to the very end, it is.
Till the very end.
But we appreciate all the love and support. Obviously, thank you so much to everybody who's been continuously sharing. I love going through my stories and seeing people just share the Doll Award stuff. It really, I'm like, okay, wow, we're really impacting more than just the three of us. Our pages.
No, yeah,
I love that.
Seeing not only just like people sharing that, but also like brands noticing the Doll Awards. It's really, because like we didn't start this to be noticed by brands or to like make it a huge thing. We just wanted to share, you know, our passion of doll collecting with other people and have other people almost interact with us with this experience. So to see everybody interacting and then to see brands also interacting and all of that, it's really, really nice. It really is. You know, I love it.
I'm also glad that brands, you know, when they say that brands are watching, they are. You know, they watch content creators, they watch a lot of things on social media because they want to know what's working and what isn't. So your votes do matter. You know, I mean, there's, like I said, from MGA to, you know, other brands, I mean, they really do notice and they're like, wow, is this working? Wow, so many people, you know, voting for this one particular doll. Well, we must be doing something right. And so they do, your vote does matter.
It does.
It really does. Really happy whenever we post the winners and the brands see it and post it on their stories. Like, oh my God, we won. Like they acknowledge that they won on this award show. So that makes me really happy.
I know we've had actually articles written about the show, which is so wild to me. I can't wait to see what happens this year, though. I say that all the time, but I really am. All right, to wrap up this episode here as our timer is going off. Thank you so much again to the two of you for being here. I can't believe this is completing episode 5 of Out of the Box. And
insane that we're on episode 5.
I know. So well, reach out to any of our social medias and let us know of any particular topics you want us to talk about next. Because my birthday episode's coming up soon. So besides that, the schedule's open.
Also, if you have any questions about the Doll Awards, leave it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, because we would answer it in the next episode.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. Yes, yes, yes. All right, I'll see you guys in episode 6. Bye.